December 21st will of course be an amazing fight, as is the rematch between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury, this time for the unified world titles. Unfortunately, Usyk was stripped of his IBF title, of course, and Daniel Dubois has now been elevated to a champion and has defended it once. Now, of course, that's his own thing. We're not going to get into that. But besides that, the co-main event is unfortunately no longer Serhiy Bohachuk versus Israel Madrimov, because Madrimov has gotten a case of bronchitis. Now, of course, the entire thing was, oh, Madrimov is set to fight Bohachuk and Virgil Ortiz. Yeah, the only reason why they even announced the Virgil Ortiz fight, because they knew he had bronchitis, like, before the fight was announced. So they tried to make it seem like, oh, this man got, you know what I mean, right? He got that. But nope, he just had bronchitis. He wasn't going to fight Bohachuk anyways. But Ishmael Davis has courageously stepped in, unfortunately, probably not to a victory, but oh well. Maybe he does. We'll try to make a case for him. Ishmael Davis is 13-1, 6 wins by way of knockout. He is unfortunately coming off of the majority decision loss to Josh Kelly. Now, of course, Josh Kelly himself does not have that much power, so it's not really a good gauge of his chin, right? But you look at his resume, also not the best. You see his fights, 8-0, 20-2 are his better wins, so that's always good, right? But he is facing the essential boogeyman of the division, as you could say. Serhiy Bohachuk, 24-2, 23 wins by way of knockout and 1 loss by way of knockout. Of course, his first loss came against Brandon Adams, losing in the 8th round. Of course, little, I guess you could say, controversy. Adams was deducted points for hitting low, but Bohachuk was unfortunately of course stopped in that fight. And of course, Brandon Adams has been doing good for himself. Now, of course, he has unfortunately lost the tournament that he was in. But at the end of the day, he's still game and he's old. So what are you gonna do? But besides that, the two other technical blemishes is that his one decision win was very recent, as it was Brian Mendoza, the very much durable guy. So no one can blame Bohachuk for not stopping Mendoza. But at the end of the day, the way the fight was going, no one would have blamed them if they stopped the fight, you know. But his latest loss was the majority decision win against Virgil Ortiz Jr. Now, of course, that ended Ortiz's 100% knockout streak, which probably should stay intact because Bohachuk probably should have got the nod. Not probably, he should have got the nod. It was like, oh, but it was a close fight. Look at the punch stats. Yeah, but Bohachuk dropped Ortiz in 2 different rounds. That should have closed off any gaps in the scoring. It should have been not a wide decision, but it should have been a unanimous decision for Bohachuk. Now, of course, the one bad part about Bohachuk is he is weird. He fights weird. The way he fights, it looks like he was hurt a bunch of times in the fight, which fair enough, he probably was. It was Virgil Ortiz we're talking about, but it looked like he was hurt. But at the end of the day, he wasn't hurt. So I mean, that may have lost him a bunch of rounds because like, oh my god, he's hurt, and then he wasn't hurt. He just has like bad balance and stuff. But besides that, unfortunately for Davis, he's gonna get probably most likely gonna get stopped. Bohachuk has that unrelenting pressure, that power, that very much tight defense. So obviously he has learned from his Adam defeat that gonna be very hard to try to clip him. And of course, he isn't the most technical boxer, or really much the most maneuverable boxer. You know, Ukrainians are known for their footwork. He does not have that. But one of the weird things he does have is that weird like pressure. He sticks to you like glue. Like he's always like right there in front of you. You could be trying to move no matter how you can move. You could try to do Lomachenko footwork. He's still in your face at the end of the day. It's like, what? I'm trying to do some fancy footwork and he's still right in front of me, right? So that's bad for obviously Davis. And Davis doesn't have the power to really hurt Bohachuk or even have the skills to really clip him bad. This will be a somewhat competitive fight because it's more of, but not really. I feel like Bohachuk's going to stop him in the first 6 rounds. And to be honest, I'm going to say this now because the fight may never happen, but I had Bohachuk beating Madrimov. I don't know if I had it like that because I had Bohachuk beating Madrimov by stoppage. But whatever, right? That fight may or may not happen. Supposedly, they're trying to make Bohachuk, if he wins this fight the winner of Madrimov Ortiz, which, fair enough, makes sense, right? Bohachuk can end all debate against Ortiz, or he fights a former world champion in Madrimov, right? But the main event of the evening, Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury 2, reignited. Now, of course, the marketing has been amazing. So, of course, I had an opinion, right? And the thing is, I never got the advertisements for like Riyadh season, because especially the Better Via Bivol, because everyone's like, oh my god, boxing gets such good advertisements. Why can't the UFC get it? I looked at the trailer and I thought, what does this have to do with boxing? I never liked it. But this trailer was, I would assume, because people are saying it was, that it was inspired by the Smile movies. And if you know me, I loved the Smile. I loved Smile too. And when I saw, I was like, oh my god, it's that, and it got me into it. And of course, the essential tagline, I guess, of the fight is reignited, of course, because the first one was called Ring of Fire. Absolutely top tier advertisement. Even though this is a highly anticipated rematch, hey, the advertisement is going crazy, to be honest. But besides that, let's talk about the former Unified World Champion and the former WBC World Champion, Tyson Fury, 34-1 with one draw, 24 wins by way of a knockout. And of course, that one loss was, of course, to Alexander Usyk, split decision over 12 rounds. Tyson Fury was knocked down in round 9. Now, of course, we already talked about it before the beginning of the fight, so we're not going to talk about too much about the resumes. We're just going to skim through it. Of course, Fury has beaten Wilder twice, White, Chisora, and Ngannou, Otto Wallin, of course. But besides that, there's really nothing much to talk about other than what could be different. Now, of course, the Unified World Champion, former undisputed champion, Alexander Usyk, 22-0, 14 wins by way of a knockout. Of course, he has beaten people like Tyson Fury, Daniel Dubois, who is now a champion and has defended it against Anthony Joshua, who, of course, Usyk defended his Unified World titles and took the Unified World titles from Anthony Joshua, of course. He also beaten Derek Chisora. He is also the former undisputed Cruiserweight World Champion, arguably the best fighter out now. Of course, you can make arguments for Inoue and Crawford and other people, but Usyk fought someone that's like 30 pounds heavier than him, so obviously you can make a better argument for Usyk. But besides that, the essential first fight was that Fury, or the first couple rounds, were very much competitive. Usyk probably was winning to some degree. The middle rounds were Fury, as it looked like he was starting to pull away. Then Usyk, just out of nowhere, hurts him. Well, actually, it wasn't out of nowhere. He was starting to get back in the fight, and overall winning the last quarter of the fight, especially with the knockdown, it definitely secured him the win. Now, of course, people are saying, what could be different? And the thing is, unfortunately, it's not going to be in favor of Fury. Fury, of course, people are saying that the Wilder fights definitely took a lot out of him. Of course, fighting the strongest puncher in heavyweight, probably not the best, especially getting knocked down as many times as he did. Probably not the best for, your chin, right? Of course, Fury has been dropped a bunch of times, but he does have great recovery skills, Within like a round, he recovers basically from the worst knockdown ever, right? But like I said in the first fight, I don't know who said it, but it makes sense. Tyson Fury has been moving like a middleweight for quite a bit of time. Eventually, it's going to come to bite him in the ass. It kind of came to bite him in the ass. Not too much, right? Because Fury is huge, right? And the way he moved and the way he fought against Usyk, he definitely tired out, probably in the first time in his career. And of course, looked like he tired himself out. Obviously, Usyk is that type of guy. He makes you fight. He puts mental pressure, physical pressure, and all that stuff. Not to mention, he took a very good skill of Fury, and that's obviously Fury being the bigger guy, basically, in all his fights. He uses his weight. He leans on you. He does all that stuff. Usyk found a way to not end up in those situations. Now, of course, people are saying that he learned from Ngannou, as Ngannou was also one of those guys that didn't let Fury really put his weight on him, right? But then again, it was very surprising because Ngannou was straight up just a beast, right? He's huge, so it makes sense why he could do it. But Usyk, very surprising, but he managed to do it, right? And the thing I'm trying to say is Fury hurt Usyk, right? But nothing really, fight ending, right? And I think it's just going to end worse this time around. I think Usyk actually stops Fury this time. I didn't say he was going to stop him in the first fight. I think this fight, he's definitely going to stop him. Fury's either going to try to conserve more energy, which of course means Usyk will most likely land cleaner punches on him, or he's going to go for the knockout and maybe not get it and tire himself out even worse, and then ending up probably getting stopped. Now, of course, Fury could just straight up just try his best to put his weight on Usyk, because if he manages to get that going, yeah, Fury most likely will win, because Usyk is small as hell. So obviously with 260 pounds on him. He's definitely going to tackle him out, taking away like his footwork and all that stuff. But for the most part, Usyk is the better boxer. He found a way to get past the reach and size advantage. He's just gonna get it worse now. Of course, he's just gonna do it better. Now, of course, the other rematch he had was with Anthony Joshua, and I personally thought Anthony Joshua did really good in the rematch. He did a lot better, but at the same time, that was because he was trying to bully Usyk. I don't think Fury's that type of guy to try to bully Usyk, but he could, and that could work. But unfortunately, Usyk just randomly, I don't know how, but he just figures you out, and then he just starts whooping your ass. It's like, damn. It's like, oh, one round, like, oh, this is a very competitive fight. Nope, he's whooping my ass now. So besides that, I got Usyk stoppage, probably 10, 11th round. I think Tyson Fury's chin has finally gave out, I guess you could say. You never know. I think he finally cements himself as the essential best fighter of the new era? I don't know. Floyd Mayweather obviously is the best fighter of his era. Is this a new era? I think so. That would be Usyk, to be honest. To be 2-division undisputed champion, always great. But against the people he fought, better, right? But yeah, I think he just cements himself in history. Now there's no doubters like, oh, but Usyk this, but Usyk that, but Usyk this. It doesn't matter. All the doubts are gone. He's cemented himself as the best fighter or something, right? But that doesn't matter. But besides that, of course, I got Serhiy Bohachuk stopping Davis in the first 6 rounds. And Usyk stopping Fury in the later rounds. And of course, people would think Fury could get it done. To be fair, he could. He had some good success in the fight. So obviously, it's not like he's going to be outclassed again. But I just think it's going to favor Usyk more. I don't know, but you get the point. I think Usyk will just figure out Fury again, but earlier this time. But besides that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.